I mean, it doesn't need to work. But
Hi and welcome to Gross Baking with Nick and with Gabe. Okay, and what we're going to make today?
Zit muffins.
We are going to make zit muffins. Before we begin, guys, just a little reminder. Have a good tidy up around your kitchen, clean up any mucky pots that are there, give all the surfaces a wipe down, because it's cool to do gross baking,
but not to have a gross kitchen. And
also, what is it important to do before we start?
Wash your hands. Not like that, but it's decent enough. But just wash them normally.
That's right.
I love the smell of this soap.
Wash your hands before you start. So the first thing that we need to do is make a tray of muffins or cupcakes or buns or whatever you want to call them. So we've got a tray with some bun cases ready. And then we've got some ingredients, which is a plain Victoria sponge mix. So we've got...
flour.
How much?
300 grams.
200 grams. And then we've got caster sugar.
100 grams.
100 grams. Then we've got butter.
100 grams.
100 grams. Then we've got
2 eggs.
2 eggs from a chicken, I think. They're not dragon eggs, are they?
Well, the nest didn't look that much like a chicken nest to me.
Did it not?
No.
They might be dragon eggs, but I think they're chicken eggs. And we've got
vanilla extract
to add a little bit of flavour to the sponge. So we're going to go ahead and mix all that up. So what we do first is we put the we put the sugar and the butter in together, cream that in the mixer, and then we add the eggs and the flour bit by bit until the whole thing's blended, a little bit of vanilla extract and a splash of milk if need be, and we spoon that into the bun cases. So we've got the buns cooked and they've been sat and left to cool. The next thing we need is some custard, and what we need is half the quantity of the ingredients on the tin, because we need this custard to be nice and thick, so it's like nice thick squeezy puffs. So what we need is custard powder,
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons, sugar,
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon. We need to mix it all together in a mixing jug with...
milk.
How much milk?
300 something.
Half a pint of milk. Normally it would make a pint of custard, which would be reasonably thick, but we want really nice thick, kind of like confectioner's custard, like you'd get in a vanilla slice. So it's nice and so it'll squeeze out when you squeeze it, but it's not runny. So we're going to go right ahead and do that. Just before we do that, I've been having a little experiment with some marzipan for the skin, and as you can see here, I was a little bit concerned that this gel, which is the only thing I can get locally, and having no not being able to get any bottles anywhere. The only thing I could get is this gel, but I thought I'll try it on a little bit of marzipan here to see if it colours it, and as you can see, it colours it just fine. So onto the custard, and then we'll be dealing with the marzipan and hopefully not eating it all. So 2 tablespoons of custard powder. Cool. Okay. 1 tablespoon of sugar. Oh. Put the lid back on. Okay. And then into the microwave.
Microwave.
Not that kind of microwave.
Aww.
And then once this is cooked, we have to leave it to set so it goes cold. So that's the custard, half a pint, nice and thick and gloopy, and that will get thicker as it stands and it cools down, and we want that completely cold before we can use it. The next part of the video is going to be scooping out a hollow in the top of the buns, like so. So using a teaspoon, I'm going to carefully cut around, and we're scooping out a piece, leaving a hollow underneath like this. And we're going to do that for all of the buns on here. Now we've got that done, the next thing we're going to do is take our pus, or our custard, in here, and this is set nice and solid, but not so solid that it's unworkable. And we're going to fill these little crevices with a dollop of custard. So we've scooped out the top of the buns and we've filled the gaps in the buns with custard. The only problem now is we've got this leftover custard and bits of bun top. How on earth are we going to get rid of it?
How on earth am I going to scoop all this in here? Yeah.
Okay, and the last bit of the ingredients is the fun and slightly messy bit, and this is the marzipan. This is about half of the block that I've got there with some food colour, and I'm just going to put a little bit in to begin with because we only want a slight pinkish kind of tinge. So I'm going to fold that in on itself, and then we're going to start folding this and mashing it together until this colour tints the marzipan. If you need to add more colour, once this is thoroughly mixed, then do so in exactly the same manner as before. But to be honest, this is looking like it might be pretty good because this has just got to be sort of slightly pinkish. Although it should be quite logical. Make sure that the marzipan has been left out of the fridge. It's fine to be kept in the fridge for storage, but make sure it's been left out of the fridge and is at room temperature before you start doing this, otherwise it will take forever to knead. But I'm quite pleased with that. I think that will do, and we're going to start rolling this out now. We've rolled out the coloured marzipan to this kind of thickness, as you can see. Try and get this in here. This kind of thickness, and cut this out with a cutter, a scone cutter or icing cutter, whatever you want to call it. You can use anything that will fit the top of the buns neatly, so it could be the rim of a glass, for example, so you don't have to have a cutter. For example, the rim of this would probably do the same kind of job. And what we're going to do is cut out as many squares as we can from this before we re-roll it. hopefully we will have enough in this half a block of marzipan to cover all of the cakes. 3, 6, in fact we will, with some to spare, because we've only got 10 cakes because 2 of them mysteriously vanished shortly after being baked. Can't imagine where they went. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to create a little hole for the zit. So in the middle of the bun I'm going to use the lid, as you can see here, of the icing tube, and we're going to get our first potential zit. I think I might have made that a little bit too big, but this is all an experimentation, and you need to squish it on the top in such a manner that you're making the centre bit bulge slightly. And then we're going to repeat the process for the remaining cakes, and then we're going to add a special little touch, so bear with me. We've got all our zits lined up, our little pink skin colour, all ready to squeeze before eating. And what I'm going to try and do now, which I've already tried to do on this one here a little bit unsuccessfully, but we're going to see how this goes. Get a bit of the red food colouring and a paintbrush, a nice clean paintbrush, not one that you've been painting the fence with or anything, and then we'll just kind of touch up around the edges to make them look a bit pinker than the rest of the icing. Well, it doesn't actually look too bad at all. So a little bit of the food colouring and just kind of work away at that, and releasing your inner craftsperson, getting all arty and think very sore red spots. I've got to admit this doesn't look quite as good as it did in my head, however it's all about having fun, so I'm sure some of you guys out there could be a little bit more creative and do a better job of this than me. And what we're going for is that really sort of sore red bit on the raised bump of the spot that you get when you've got a spot that's about ready to explode. And if you want to get really, really gross, this is something I did consider, but unfortunately didn't have any jam. You could put some jam in there so you can get some sort of gooey, bloody type stuff squeezing out of your spots. So there we have it. We have a completed zit bun with a nice red head with the yellow spot in the middle. All we need now is a volunteer to come and squeeze it and try it. Have we got any volunteers? Right. You're going to squeeze the zit. Hang on. Let's move the camera down so everyone can see how gross and yucky it is. You have to press down.
Oh god. No, not too bad. No,
Ew! Zit cakes, yay! Mmm, yummy. Go and have a taste, they're delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, and fans of gross baking everywhere, there we have the zit cake with a nice squeezy puss when you squeeze the spot. And they are quite delicious. Have a bite.
No.
Well, who's wimping out, but I want to try them, and they're very, very nice indeed. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check back for more videos, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you. Mmm.